Hey everyone, and welcome back to Royalty Now, where I re-envision figures from the past as modern-day people using Photoshop. Today I want to cover 3 of my favorite transformations of famous musicians whose lifetimes actually all overlapped in Europe. And those are Beethoven, Mozart, and Joseph Boulogne, also known as Chevalier de Saint-Georges. I'm going to give a quick history of each figure and explain the portraits I've used, and then show each man transformed and smiling as a modern-day figure. Let's start with Beethoven, who lived from 1770 to 1827. He's shown here at age 49 in a portrait by Joseph Karl Stieler in 1820. This is the only portrait of Beethoven that was actually taken from life, although there is also a life mask taken from him as well. Now, I'm not sure Beethoven needs too much of an introduction, so I won't spend too much time on his history, but he is a famous composer and pianist, and his work is some of the most performed classical music in the world. Here are my modern-day versions of him. I've actually done a clean-cut version as well as a more wild-haired version, so let me know which one you guys prefer below. Let's move on to the French prodigy Joseph Boulogne, also known as Chevalier de Saint-Georges, and he lived from 1745 to 1799. He's shown here in a painting by Mather Brown in 1787 around the age of 41. While he deserves to be just as famous as Beethoven and Mozart, he's unfortunately probably the least well known on this list, despite being considered to be one of the most accomplished men in Europe during his lifetime. Joseph was half black, the son of wealthy George Boulogne de Saint-Georges and his house slave Nanon. He was brilliant, handsome, and charming, and he soon dazzled Parisian society. His list of achievements includes being a prodigy classical composer, virtuoso violinist, a symphony conductor in Paris, and even a championship fencer. Actually, Mozart was even said to be jealous of him, which is a huge testament to his skill, I think. So let's see him brought to life in the modern day. Next up, we've got Austrian composer Mozart. Well, technically he was born in the Holy Roman Empire, and he lived from 1756 to 1791. The good news with Mozart is that there are several confirmed portraits of him painted during his lifetime. Probably the most accurate was painted by his brother-in-law, and this one's believed to be unfinished. I couldn't use that image because of the poor image quality, so I used this one from 1780, which is a detail from a family portrait, and it was painted when Mozart would have been about 24 years old. It's actually crazy how you can see years start to go away. You think this man looks about 35, but then as soon as the gray wig disappears, you know that he's just a man in his mid-20s. And Mozart is described as being one of the most famous people whose true likeness is the least recognized. Even his own sister said, quote, "I have to say that I have never seen so many portraits of my brother that are so different even when seen side by side, but that nevertheless essentially all look like him." He is described as having naturally fair hair and large blue eyes kind of protruding, and seemed like quite the character according to his friends. They described him as pretty small, very fond of punch, with a dirty sense of humor, and he was apparently never standing still and was fidgeting or always seemed to be pondering something, which seems fitting for a man whose mind was probably always busy. Now let's see the modern day Mozart. Thank you so much for watching Royalty Now. I'll see you next time.